Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching. I am Steve Gray. Today we're going to be talking about Epiphone's new Power Player Les Paul and SG beginner guitars. And apparently they are hard to beat according to this article. So the reason I'm doing this over the George Harrison, which I'm assuming a lot of people thought I was going to cover the George Harrison guitar, which I might this coming Saturday. We'll see. I'm actually going to be out of town, so I'm probably going to be making the video ahead of time. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm getting spammed with other stuff. Anyway, Gibson sibling brands continues their legacy of supplying instruments for every stage. Taking inspiration from the original Gibson designs, Epiphone's new Power Player Les Paul and SG models continue their aim of providing a quality guitar for every stage. Appearing in a youth-sized format, okay, so talking shorter scale length, smaller guitars in general, these latest editions of the Epiphone family are redolent of the old 3/4 size guitars from Gibson's golden era, such as the ES-140T, ES-125T, 3/4, Les Paul Jr. 3/4, and LG 2 3/4 that were aimed at youngsters or adults with small fingers. In a similar vein, the Epiphone Power Player Les Paul and SG appear with a 3/4 plus 22 in 22.73 inches scale length on a slightly smaller body. So this is actually solid like 2 inches shorter than your traditional Gibson scale length. Now, this certainly makes the instrument easy to handle for anyone who finds a full-size Les Paul or SG too bulky or long. Epiphone are keen to stress that these beginner electric guitars are not toys. While they are priced competitively, the high-quality specs of the Epiphone Power Player Les Paul and SG, I'm probably just going to start saying guitars for the rest of this because just keep saying the same thing over and over again, mean that these instruments are a serious option for beginners, not to mention those wishing to purchase a decent travel guitar. Appearing in a choice of finishes, including lava red, ice blue, and ice blue, each guitar ships with a gig bag, strap, cable, and picks for $279 US, $249 in euros. And with masses of great beginner guitars, amps to choose from these days, a complete starter rig can be had in just 2 steps. Be kind of nice to see these paired with a small little practice amp, but to each their own, I guess. Speaking of the new guitars, Director of Brands at Gibson, Krista Gilly, said these guitars are designed to be the solution for beginning musicians, parents, and music teachers to kickstart a guitar playing journey, the first forever guitar. We solve the need for high quality and reliable beginner guitars that parents can trust in and provide a solution for music teachers to offer an accessible Gibson brand guitar to support the lessons and products recommendations. Yeah, most parents can probably afford that $279, although there are cheaper options out there, significantly cheaper options for beginner guitars, so they might not necessarily go this route because they might not necessarily want to spend more than $100 into this. For more information, go over to their website. Just trying to see if they actually show somebody playing. No, we're just let's have a commercial of a guitar and not have somebody playing it. Well, I guess probably in the background maybe. They're just kind of showing it off, but it does have binding, so that's kind of neat. So we have lava red, exclusive dark matter ebony, ice blue, and same colors for the SG. Lava red, exclusive dark matter ebony, and ice blue. So let's look at a pretty color. I guess we'll start with the red here. So you do have, wow, even some of like the Epiphone specials and stuff don't have body binding and fretboard binding. That is a little bit of a step up. Definitely makes it look a little classier. So 3/4 version inspired by the Gibson Les Paul, 22.73 inch scale length in a slightly smaller mahogany body, makes it light and easy to play. Excellent choice for young players. Great for travel. Sounds better and stays in tune. Longer than other student models due to high quality components and excellent build quality. Well, let's compare it to something else, but who knows? It's still got the typical. Bet you that G string don't stay in tune. I've actually only had a problem with one of my Epiphones. with that, and it was the nut was cut wrong. So as long as the nut is cut correctly, sure, why not? Easy to play, better sounding. Let's see if we got to. So mahogany body, single ply top and fretboard. It's a gloss finish. Slim taper D. So this is going to be going back to the stereotypical Epiphone D-shaped neck. That it's kind of you love it or you hate it, in my opinion. Some people like it. I like it. Others hate it. Indian Laurel, medium jumbo. Oh yeah, the nut. That might be a problem. White plastic. You know, for $279, I have seen guitars in that price range with the Graphtec nut, so that would have been nice. Trapezoid, Perloid trapezoid. Yeah, that's plastic. Bolt-on, sculpted heel. Oh, it looks like that is a little flatter there, isn't it? That's it. That's kind of interesting. Haven't seen that yet. Hardware nickel, lightning bar, compensated wraparound. So not a great way to adjust the intonation on these things, unfortunately. You do have a dual action truss rod, die cast with kidney beans, so you're not getting Grovers. Gold reflector cream, plastic, cream, nickel, blah, blah, blah. You get the Epiphone, so no Epiphone Pro Buckers. Definitely not getting those. You're getting the 650R and 700T. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe those are the same exact pickups that I had when I had an Epiphone 100. I don't even know if they make those anymore. I want to say they do. But, yeah. So, there you have it, I guess. Not extremely impressed with the spec sheet, if I'm being completely honest. You know, you're not getting decent humbuckers. You know, you're getting kind of the cheap ones. You're not getting decent tuners. You're not getting a decent nut. The electronics are probably dirt cheap. You know, it's bolt-on. I don't really care if it's bolt-on. I personally like the look of a set neck better, but there have been bolt-ons that I think play better than set necks. I'm guessing the SG here is probably going to be the same specs. So yeah, mahogany, single ply, fretboard, slim taper D. Does it tell you what the fretboard radius is? Yeah, 12 inches. There we go. I missed that in the last one. Indian Laurel, 22, medium jumbo. Yeah, plastic. Perloid, trapezoid. The inlays are probably some sort of mother of toilet seat. As you see, you know, they're not real mother of pearl, not at this price point. Dual action, black bell. Yep. Recessed barrel jack. That's different. Is that the same thing on the Les Paul? Let's see. Input jack. Switch tuning. No. So that's interesting. The SG, by the sound of it, has... I mean, yeah, right there. If we can zoom in on this thing, if it lets me. There we go. There it is. Yeah, that's different. You don't see a lot of barrel jacks on really any Gibson or Epiphone. For the SG, interesting, they actually did the strap placement similar to the bolt-on neck Thunderbird bases, where they're doing it on the back, where I think the Les Paul is still... Yeah, Les Paul is still on the side. So that's kind of a cool feature, you know, kind of built in there to the neck. I've seen that in others. So same humbuckers. Only difference is no binding on the body for the SG, which I don't understand why the SG isn't cheaper. Typically, for any of these ranges, you know, the SG doesn't have as much binding. It doesn't use as much material. There's actual binding around the guitar of the Les Paul. So I'm kind of confused on why there isn't like at least like a $20 to $50 difference between the Les Paul and the SG. You would think that these would get dropped down a little bit. Finishes look pretty cool. The main thing, even the operating tuners aren't bad. I have like random generic tuners on a Squire. If the nut is cut right, even if it's made out of plastic, which it definitely is in this picture, that's not going to be an issue. I really don't like non-intonatable bridges. And I've never actually owned a lightning bridge, as they call this, where basically they're like, oh, okay, this is the exact position or roughly the position of the intonation at the 12th fret. I would rather just have, like, I know Gibson makes wraparound tail pieces with intonatable, individual saddles. And I don't think that would be, a premium. Sure, it's cheaper doing it this way, but, past the 12th fret, less tuning stability, which, as a beginner, I would like tuning stability. And when I can go buy a Squier that has 6 adjustable saddles, another pickup, possibly name brand tuners to a certain extent, usually not. That and a longer scale. This is it's a smaller guitar, so that might be an influence too, just because the whole thing is shrunk down. If you're like a kid playing it, or just someone that has smaller hands, I guess. But I don't think these should be this expensive. I'm just curious how much like a Squier package is going for right now. Squier Strat electric guitar. Let's just do shopping real quick. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. I can get a Squier Stratocaster electric guitar starter pack for cheaper. So, you're talking, this comes with an amp and a gig bag. I wouldn't really recommend this for beginners because I hate giving beginners a tremolo. I had a guitar. I was lucky enough where I didn't have a tremolo for my first guitar. But I hate giving beginners any type of wiggle stick because, especially on the cheaper models, the tuning stability just isn't there. And yes, some can argue, humbucker versus single coil sound. But when a parent goes into a store or online and just types in like starter guitar, and this thing comes with a gig bag, which that doesn't, an amp, which that doesn't, strap, picks, and a cord, which that doesn't, for, you're talking $10 cheaper, and it's a regular scale length guitar. The only thing, and they do make mini Squiers too. I don't know how much they're going for. Let's see, what if I do mini? Let's see. Yeah, I'm a brand new, off of Amazon. Looks like $180. That's probably not with an amp or anything. Oh, here we go. $266. So still cheaper. Still cheaper than this. I cannot get behind these. If you want something cheap, fairly cheap, and you're an adult and have big boy money or big girl money or big they money, whatever your pronouns are, and you want to just mod the crap out of this and you like the shorter scale length, by all means. If I were to buy this guitar right now, tuners are gone, nut is gone, bridge is gone, electronics are gone. At that point, you have a husk. You literally just have a husk of a guitar. I'm not going to, put name brand pickups in there. Maybe find some nice Chinese pickups, some Wilkinson hardware. Tuning wise, I might even do like I guess the tuners, I wouldn't necessarily replace them if they were fine. So if the tuners were working fine, I wasn't having tuning issues based on the tuners, and the nut I would also leave alone if it was, tuning fine. But that bridge is gone. Minimum, the bridge and the electronics are gone, and the beginner's not going to want to do that crap. They're just not. They're not going to do this. It's not a bad price point, but just comparing it to other things, I don't see, a parent picking this over something that comes with everything. I don't see someone going into a music shop or a guitar center, minus if the kid really, really, really likes that guitar, and buying this over the Stratocaster that has the amp, that has the strap, that has the bag. When you got to buy all this extra stuff for this guitar, where you're talking, you're going to be easily $300, $400 into this guitar. Probably closer to the 400 range by the time you get a practice amp and a gig bag and a cable and a strap and a pick and a tuner, as opposed to just buying the Squier. I guess that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm sorry, I dragged this one out a little bit longer than I should have, but we'll just leave it at that. My name is Steve Gray. This is Gray's Guitars. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.